Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And today, it seems like once again, the second people start to think that maybe, just maybe, Lucasfilm is starting to move in the right direction, they do something that once again reminds us why we have hated Lucasfilm for so long, why there were so many people calling out Lucasfilm for pandering to a certain group that likes to call out a certain action that is happening on Twitter, and yet don't even seem to realize that they are the same people who are committing said actions. Now, what are these actions that I'm talking about? I'm talking about Lucasfilm pandering to a group of people on Twitter who call out other people for being a bunch of racists, a bunch of misogynists, a bunch of transphobes, and yet not even realizing that they're the ones who are being the actual racists, being the actual misogynists, being the actual transphobes. And now, what exactly happened now that, now look, I know you're probably thinking, well, you're not really saying anything new. No, I know that. But I am hoping that this video, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be making videos talking about this too, but I am hoping that these videos will finally prove to all of the doubters, finally prove to all the people who have been saying that we are insane, that we are chasing a boogeyman, that this doesn't exist, like you're just making shit up. I'm hoping that this will finally prove to them that everything that we have been saying for a long time, all of the people who have been calling out Lucasfilm for a lot longer than I have on this platform, will hopefully be proven correct after seeing what just happened here. Now, what happened, for a little bit of context for anyone who does not know. Now, what you're looking at is a tweet from the official Star Wars account. They tweeted out this. Now, we are going to absolutely debunk and destroy this tweet, proving to them once and for all that they are the actual bullies, that they are the actual racists. Listen to this. Our Star Wars community is one of hope and inclusivity. Already, that's a bunch of bullshit. We do not stand for bullying and racism. We'll be focusing on this part specifically. We support Christina Ariel. Now, who exactly is Christina Ariel? Well, in case you don't know, Christina Ariel is the newly announced host of what's known as the High Republic show. I don't know what it is. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the High Republic at all. But apparently, she is going to be the host of it. Now, Christina Ariel, in case you don't know, is just another woke Twitter POS who does nothing but call out white people for being a bunch of racists. And what's so ironic about this is that when you look at her history, her Twitter history, once again, it'll prove that she is the actual racist. She goes ahead and calls white people, she generalizes all white people as being racist when she doesn't even realize that she's the one being racist in the first place. Let's just take a look at some of the tweets that she posted. Listen to this. White people, fucking stop it. Your racism won't save you. Your ignorance is not an excuse. Let's just go ahead and take another look. Just a reminder that white women are just as complicit in the upholding and enforcing white supremacy. I want you to keep these tweets in mind. She is generalizing all white people and all white women, okay? Just keep that in mind, okay? And listen to this tweet. She posted these two. Watching two white men discuss racism they will never experience will never sit right with me. White men, this is not the subject for you to try and speak authoritatively in my comments. I said what I said. And she just goes on and on. The number of white women I've had do foul shit to me, then blame me for being intimidating, is mind-boggling. And now, here's where the hypocrisy sets in. Here is where it is once again proven why we never listen to people on Twitter, or anyone with common sense doesn't listen to any of these idiots on Twitter. This is why, because they went ahead and they said shit like this that we've just seen, and yet they also say things like this. Before one more person asks me why, it's because white people seem to think that black people exist as a monolith and only believe one way. They think that when one black person says something, we all feel that way. Basically, they're ignorant. This person just accused white people of generalizing black people. The same person who just generalized all white people is accusing them of generalizing black people. This is why we never listen to these idiots. This is why I urge people to stay off Twitter, because even though I'm sure there are a lot of sane, normal human beings on Twitter, there are unfortunately a bunch of crazy people on Twitter who actually think like this, who do not listen to what they actually say on Twitter. This is why I try to urge people, don't go to Twitter. Just stay off it. If you do not have a Twitter account and you're listening to this, do not go on Twitter. I promise you, it will kill your brain cells. It will make you go insane. if you are still participating in events where your flyer is all 100% white people, you are part of the problem. Don't just say, there are no black people represented here. Speak up. Many of my friends have the influence. Open your mouth and use it. Demand diversity. Don't just talk about it. And you don't get kudos for having one black person per every 6 white people fill more seats. Now, I find this especially ironic because she is working for Lucasfilm, the same people who only hire people based on skin color because they just want to fill a quota, because they just want to tick boxes, not because they actually care about diversity. And according to this person, they say demand diversity, don't just talk about it. Demanding diversity, here's the thing. Diversity should never be demanded. It should just be natural. It should just happen. And also, when it comes to the workplace, you should never hire someone based on their skin color or their sex or their sexual preference. It should be based on merit. This person is basically demanding what a lot of people have been demanding, what we have been going against, which is to hire people just based off their skin color and their gender, which is just, it is mind-boggling to me. Like, you should only hire people based on merit. And seriously, this is just, it is absolutely fucking insane. And now, to go back to this, we already called out the racism, and the fact that they are supporting someone who has been an open racist on this platform just once again proves the hypocrisy of Lucasfilm at this point. Now, again, I'm not saying, of course, I'm not going to generalize like this idiot is. Of course, I know that not everyone at Lucasfilm is like this, but the problem is when the official Star Wars account comes out and supports an actual racist on Twitter, and yet they go ahead and they try to, and yet when shit like this happens, it proves why so many people do not take them seriously. It proves why so many people have given up on Lucasfilm and why they outright hate Lucasfilm, because they do shit like this. You come out and you say you stand again, you say you do not stand for bullying and racism, and yet you are supporting an open racist. Now let's go to the actual bullying of this platform. Now this can easily be debunked because I have made videos talking about this. Other people have made videos talking about the bullying that happens on Twitter. Look at this. Look at this. If you do not stand for bullying, then why have you not called out all the people who have been attacking Gina Carano just because of her beliefs? Why have you not said anything about this? Why have you not come out and made an actual statement saying that we are not going to fire Gina Carano, and you guys being a bunch of assholes on Twitter is not going to get your point across? All it does is show people the losers that you actually are. And yet you said nothing when people were bullying James Arnold Taylor because he decided to have a Parler account, because according to a lot of these people, if you have a Parler account, that automatically makes you an alt-right Yahtzee, when that is not indeed the case. The reason why people are heading over to other platforms is because they're sick and tired of the hypocrisy on Twitter. This is why people are leaving. And again, just the second they posted it, they are being absolutely destroyed in the comment section. Look, Nerdrotic even posted this here. If you stand against racism, then why did you shrink Finn in the poster for China? Of course, we only stand for race. We stand against racism, but except when it's supposed to earn us money. Then we're all for it. Then we are all for racism, because at that point you're getting in the way of our money. Like, we'll happily be racist if it means it'll get us money, because that is all Lucasfilm care about. They only care about optics. They only care about making money. These people do not believe in any of the shit that they say. And what again is so frustrating is that there are people out there who openly defend Lucasfilm every time they say things like this. And all we're trying to do is point out the hypocrisy of it. Look at this. Disney Star Wars is late to the party. No support for Star Wars theory, and the bullying from a LucasArts. Well, LucasArts actually doesn't exist. It's Lucasfilm Games right now. A high-ranking employee or solution, which just recently happened, and multiple instances with racial and bullying scenarios with no support or solution. This some corporate BS. And now Geeky Sparkles is even saying, me too, I think racism is garbage no matter who's spouting it. That is indeed true. Racism is terrible. Racism is wrong no matter who's saying it or no matter who it is aimed against. Ichibaka replies, me too, it's not acceptable no matter who it comes from or who it's aimed at. And this person is, oh, look at this. Look at this idiot. Good. Now let's fire Gina Carano, who is responsible for inciting an insurrection, spreading misinformation about COVID and the election, and for being a transphobe. And now when you ask this person, you ask this person, hey, can you just provide any amount of evidence for Gina Carano being a transphobe or for inciting an insurrection, spreading misinformation about COVID and the election? Can you just provide me any evidence of this claim of yours? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And now Cameron Pasha, who says, I am a brown Muslim POC and Gina Carano is a friend and you can fuck right off. Absolutely, Cameron Pasha. And then this person says, and she's your friend, so that doesn't take from the facts. Like, do you see the kind of idiocy we have to deal with when it comes to Twitter? And then he responds, you mean like the fact that you have only garnered 3 followers since 2017? Clearly your opinions are highly regarded. Again, so what's that fit to do with anything? You don't need followers to validate me, honey. Oh boy. Now you have 4, and he can go fuck right off with his friend. And then he responds, you should read Malcolm X. He had more in common with Gina Carano than you woke white racists who pretend to be your friend in order to keep you beneath them. Here's Malcolm X on why liberals are the worst enemy to the black community. The worst thing for the black community is ignoring systemic oppression. Oh, there's that term again: systemic oppression, systemic racism. They love using that word, and yet they never provide any evidence for this claim. And well-meaning non-black folks telling us what is good for us. And this Malcolm X, I also find this hilarious because on Malcolm X, I think it was on Malcolm X's birthday, there are people quoting Malcolm X, or no, I don't think it was Malcolm X, it was MLK, who, like, people were quoting him, and yet there were people going out there saying, oh, if you quoted Malcolm X and you if you are a Republican, you have no right to vote for him, even though MLK, like, one of his dreams was for people to be judged based on their character, not by their political beliefs or just anything else. Just judge people based on them as individuals. And yet they go ahead and say that you cannot say this because you think differently than I do. It's just, again, the absolute hypocrisy is insane. It is insane. That umbrella guy, interesting how you stood on John Boyega's back, erasing him so you could reach more tickets in China. And then Stephanie says, from Minority Home, oh, and let's not forget this, but I guess you only stand behind certain people. Yes, that is indeed true. We do not stand for bullying and racism, but only when it comes to certain people. Yep, it is, again, it's true. Gina Carano is the racist, you dumb fuck. And again, asking them for a source, can you just provide any evidence? Just one tweet. Just one tweet. We've already provided you multiple amounts of evidence when it comes to our claims against you. And yet when you make claims against people, against Gina Carano, we ask you, can you just provide one evidence, just a single smidgen of evidence? Nothing. They can't provide you anything because there is no evidence of this being true, because these people have been programmed to just believe anything the mainstream media says. And honestly, that's kind of sad when you think about it. And then the quarter, she seems all about hope and inclusivity, and yet goes to just outright to just generalize white people and just say that they are all terrible. And then Lethal Lightning, where is the Star Wars is saved crowd at? Yeah, here's the thing. This is why I've never believed the whole Star Wars is saved, because as long as Lucasfilm continues to hire people like this, as long as they are still there, Lucasfilm is not saved. Okay, now look, a lot of people might be saying, well, here's the thing. So are you calling for cancel culture? No, I am not calling for cancel culture, okay? Because I am vehemently against cancel culture. But at the same time, these are the same people who are okay with cancel culture. These are the same people who are okay with canceling someone because of a tweet that they posted 10, 15 years ago when they were most likely a different person and not the same person they are now. They want you to cancel that person because of something they said a decade ago, and yet here we have actual evidence of tweets that were posted honestly not that long ago, and yet they say nothing. But it's okay when they say it because it's against white people. It is okay to be a racist as long as it is against white people. But if you take this tweet and if you change it, if you just change it to be against any other race, against any other gender, all of a sudden you are called to be just crucified in front of everyone and just never work in Hollywood ever again. But yet this person can go out there and say all these horrible things, and yet the official Star Wars account will come out in support of you. If you don't think that Lucasfilm has an obvious bias, or at least most of the people working in Lucasfilm have an obvious bias, then you are just either not paying attention, or you are being willfully ignorant, or you are like them. You are okay with bullying and racism as long as it's against a certain race, which if that's the case, then you are not against bullying and racism. You're just not. because this is bullying. Okay, what's going on? What happens to Gina Carano is bullying. This is harassment. What happened to James Arnold Taylor is bullying, is harassment. And the fact that you are for that just proves that you are not against bullying and racism. You're just not, okay? Stop saying that you are. Okay, I'm just going to end this video right here. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like what I do here, and if you want to support me, please consider leaving a like, share the video, and please click on the bell icon, because that way you will be notified whenever a new video gets posted on my channel and whenever I go live, which should happen later today, actually, based on when you are seeing this video. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for listening as always. Remember to stay safe and take care of yourselves, and join me for the next video. Bye for now.